Welcome to We're Done Pretending, a Reflective Rebels podcast. I'm Ben, an executive coach and rebel working with business owners, and I'm on a mission to spread joy. Joy that comes from understanding who we are, knowing what we want from the world, working out the confidence to go and get it, and dealing with the shit that life throws at us along the way. Every fortnight, I sit down with a business owner who is feeling brave enough to open up about the real side of business life, to set aside the shiny LinkedIn profile and open up about the joy and the crap, the mess and the meaning. And I believe that by listening to someone else's story, we can feel a little less alone. It might help us understand our own story a bit better, and perhaps you'll make a change that leads to a little bit joy in your life. And with me on the sofa today is Lou. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's great.
What an interesting introduction. You've literally just summed up my belief in life, I think.
Well, we're in the right place.
Boom.
Then.
We're ready to go.
We're in the right place. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, that's what it's about. I always start with somewhere a little unexpected just to get us in. And I'm going to ask you what your routine is. When you get home of a night, what happens? What do you do? What's the habits?
So a lot of the time I work at home.
Ah, okay.
So I'm already there.
You're already there.
So the separation is it's non-existent. It's terrible. I'm always technically working.
Oh, yeah.
But routine-wise, my daughter is probably the best instigator of said things. You know, the school run, getting her fed, keeping her alive, and on track with things. So that otherwise, I would just be in my zone, probably way more than I already am, and working ridiculous hours.
All right, there's a theme we can come back to there then.
No doubt.
Tell us more about the rest of life, though, for now. So how old's your daughter?
My daughter is 12, secondary school now, so that's
Year
fun.
7?
Year 8.
Year 8? Oh,
Year
so same
8.
as Charlie. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So she is, she keeps me on my toes. She's 12 going on 22 or something.
We're entering that
I learn
phase, aren't we?
so much from her every day. It's like mind-blowing and quite cool. I'm quite happy to sit in that space and just let her kind of guide me. Yeah, it's magical.
Wow. Go on then, tell me the last thing you learnt from her.
Well,
I might learn something too then today.
So she's mad into anime. Is Charlie into anime?
No.
Okay.
We've got slightly obsessed with One Piece, but they've
got like
the live action version on Netflix.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yes.
That's my level of TV, sort of like 12-year-olds.
It's a great...
That's my mental age for TV audience.
I think
watching.
that is a wonderful space to be in. And as someone who runs an animation studio and works in
I'm still there for the
television,
magic.
Yes, right? Absolutely. I literally grew up my whole life just like, I want to make cartoons. I want to create that feeling in people that is like, do you remember when we were kids and you would sit down on Saturday morning and watch cartoons?
Yeah.
And they are like some of the best memories and like the best nostalgia trips. And you hear those theme tunes and you're gone. It's like, I'm there. I'm back sitting on the carpet with me cereal, like wide eyes, staring up at whatever magic was in front of me. And I've met people over the years who have worked on those shows.
Yeah.
And I've never been as big a fangirl and absolute geek than when I meet those people who worked on those shows.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I think that guided me into this,
where you are.
this sort of crazy life.
So come back to anime then. Teach me something. What have you learned about anime?
Okay,
it's a pretty new world to me.
Anime
I know of it.
is all the rage with the kids, right? And I love, there's a lot of amazing anime, which I have dipped a toe in over the years, but all the kids are mad about it now. And Willow is obsessed. And, like to the point where utter fandom, like there's the bed sheets, there's stuff all over the walls. It's like everything she wants to wear. She's dressed up as it for Halloween, all this stuff. And I know in the industry, there's so much talk about, and with it being like a Japanese form of animation, you don't see a lot of it coming out of obviously the UK and stuff, but it's fascinating to see, K-pop Demon Hunters on Netflix.
That's
the tunes
become
bangers.
Emily's obsession.
Bangers. I can see why.
Absolute obsession.
I think I was as into it as Willow. Like there was no issue with her asking, do you want to watch this with me? Yes, I'm there. And then we would sing it at the top of our lungs every time we got in the car. It's just magical. I love it. But yeah, so I'm like, right, I really need to dig deep into this anime thing. Obviously, it's a little bit from a work perspective and just research and understanding, because more of those things are kind of coming up for me at the minute. But she's so passionate about it. And I'm like, go on then, show me what it's about. And I am so in.
What is it that hooks people
so
then?
good.
Because people do get like fully invested.
It's quite dark and a bit brutal, to be honest. It's pretty brutal just for a 12-year-old. But the interesting thing is, like at Halloween this year, I took her trick-or-treating. I was like hanging back, trying to be cool and kind of do.
Yeah, I did that with you.
Right. And so many kids, even though this outfit is typically, I would have thought, quite obscure and certainly no adults knew who she was. But the amount of teenagers who are older than her, you see a big group of teenage girls, for example, walking by down the street and she looks awkward and
you're slightly
a bit nervous.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh my goodness, she's dressed as, like, says the character's name and everything. And then they run over to her and they're starting this dialogue and they're so passionate, all of these girls. And she was beaming with pride, of course. And it was just it's this amazing connection it creates in people, that this fandom thing. And that is kind of where my whole business is at. It's like, how do you create fandom? How do you create something that creates that emotional connection and that nostalgia trip, for
so
years
both
to come?
Between a person and the character, if you like, but also between the fans.
Yeah.
Creates its own community.
Everything when it comes to intellectual property and creating content that resonates and connects and is memorable and makes you care. That's the key, right? It's like if you can tell stories, whether it's in your personal branding, whether it's in like the messages you're trying to communicate for whatever it is you do. It's like if you can create that emotional connection and make people care about it, that's where the magic happens. And in TV and entertainment and all of those things, that is the gold. That's the magic dust. That's what we're all striving to find and unearth and create.
And the thing that us as viewers fall in love with.
Absolutely. So,
Let's go back to when you fell in love with it then. So you've mentioned Saturday morning cartoons, but I want to go back there to these really formative memories that have kind of set you on this trajectory for the rest of your life. But tell us about little you. What's going on? What you like? Where are you? And how do you fall in love with?
So very arty.
Yeah.
Very.
What age are we talking? Give us a.
Do you know, I've been arty
so
since
I can picture it.
Ever I can remember. I love to draw and paint. I remember getting like a really fancy art easel for like my 9th birthday or something that I kept for years, proper arty level kid into all of that. Also quite sporty and performance oriented and did a lot of that kind of stuff too. So didn't mind being on the stage or like presenting things, and which is not for everybody, I found over the years. But I was just like, why not? It's great. It's great fun. But yeah, always I think it's like I was saying, that connection to whether it's a great character or a brilliant story or this brand new world that's being created. Just always following imagination, creating this joyful space. It's always in my happy place. I mean, everyone, I think, to some extent has some great memory of watching some blockbuster movie back in the 80s, 90s, whenever. And they're just great moments when you're sat with your family on the couch watching the telly or you've got that show that you watch over and over and over and you've literally seen it like 100,000 times and you can say it word for word and you can still watch it again and it makes you feel good. And I was just naturally just adored all of that. But it wasn't until I actually finished school and I didn't really know what direction I wanted to go in. And God love him, it was my dad who sent me a couple of prospectuses for colleges. And one of the courses that came up was a graphics and illustration course. And it said, someone from this course went on to design the Teletubbies. And I went, I'm in. Sign me up. I'll do that. Yeah, it was literally. And it's funny because I totally believe in these intricate paths that we weave in life. And there's so many key moments and points and just things that happen, which I can kind of weirdly trace back to so many things that have then come from that
moment.
Yeah. And I think there's so much that influences you that you probably don't even know on on a daily basis or throughout your life. Like bizarrely, I went to Los Angeles when I was about 4. And I don't know what it is. The amount of times I've been dragged back to Los Angeles for one reason or another. And it became this weird thing. I don't know why I keep ending up back over.
I'm back here.
Really randomly keep ending up. But yeah, it's like these, and I find that with a lot of people, you find their stories and they'll have a place or a thing or some type of music or some type, I don't know, like, whatever it is, something they've connected to or have been through in their lives, and they keep
gives them a thread.
It's like this, I'm all about energy, and I just totally believe that, yes, this thread of energy that we weave in our lives has a lot to answer for. And whether that's influencing you subconsciously or intentionally or just magic happening all around you to just keep pushing you back into this, I don't know, destiny, whatever you want to call it, I'm fascinated with that.
Me too.
Yeah.
So you mentioned movies and we were talking, and I'm just checking my memory, but I think it was before we started recording, we were talking about the difference between childhoods now and when we were growing up. And I suppose if you've got a movie memory, you know, you said sitting on the sofa with your family.
Oh, yes.
You possibly even went out to the video store to rent that movie. So it was more of an event, and it took more effort to watch a film.
The magic of the trip to the video rental store at the weekend. Good times.
Yeah.
That literally shaped my life. I saw a meme a little while back, and I sent it to my dad because I was like, this represents like every great moment of my like childhood was going to Blockbuster Video, or even before Blockbuster. Yeah. We had I think it was like a Ritz Video or something when I was really little. Oh, that was it. That was the thing.
Can you remember? Is there a specific movie that has really kind of landed?
Absolutely.
And got you?
So one of my favorite things growing up was Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It was like one of my absolute, like, again, I've watched it so many times. I know every single word, every scene, just adore it. And it's so funny because fast forward, like I'm 41 now. I've probably had that movie in my life for at least 30 years. And a few years back, as my studio and company was growing and we were looking for new people to join our animation team, because we're very remote, very international. So we get people coming in from all over, and we were putting out a call for animators, and we ended up hiring someone whose first job was as an animator on Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which absolutely blew my mind. And again, just a pinch me moment of how has this happened? Like, and they're working like on our projects, on our thing, and they've worked with us loads, and we're an animation director, and oh my goodness, just yeah.
And that's a great question. You've asked it, not me, but I think it gives us a bit of a route through the next part of the story, the sort of how has this happened. So we've got that someone on this course made the Teletubbies moment. Tell us about college. What was that experience like? What did you learn? Who did you meet? Was it good? Was it bad?
So I had a great time at college. College was fabulous.
Where did you go?
So I started, I did 2 years in Dumfries to begin with.
Yeah.
I went to the George Street School of Art, which is no more, unfortunately, but very good memories of that space and just wonderful teachers who were super passionate. I think the beautiful thing about college and university and all of that is the ability to experiment and to try different things. Yeah. And at that point, I really didn't know, like this draw of working in TV and designing characters that I, grew up with or whatever was always going to get me excited. But to actually then experience the many different pieces of the puzzle in that world is really important. And, and I say this to people all the time, especially as a founder of a company, I have flitted around that pipeline like nobody's business. I like to do it all. I like to learn it all. I like to try different things. And I've worked in studios as a character animator before on TV shows and stuff where you are literally just a character animator. I say just. Being a character animator is like a full-blown thing. And there's a reason why someone is just a character animator, because there's a lot involved and it's magnificent. And I've had so much fun working in those kind of spaces. But I always would miss all the other stuff, and I love the early concept development and the story creation, and I love storyboarding and like seeing it all come together and figuring out the angles and the cinematography and the styles and the different designs. And we're a 2D studio, so we do everything across the board in that space. So we use a type of software, Cell Action, which is used to make Bluey and Peppa Pig. So we've got that kind of vibe to our work, but we also do hand-drawn stuff, and like the Who Framed Roger Rabbit stuff where we work with live action backgrounds and we composite things together. We do visual effects. We've done a little bit of everything over the years. I love that. I love the versatility of it. And I think college and university for me was a fantastic place to explore.
To try it all.
Yeah, it really was.
Did you believe it back then? How close to it feeling possible, or just this wildest dream did it feel?
I think with the locality back then, back then it was that we didn't have teams internationally on Zooms, working together.
Yeah.
It was like, if you were going to do this, you had to move. So I don't know. I think I very much found myself just taking it day by day. I think if I'd thought too much more about it at that point, it maybe would have overwhelmed me. So I just very much enjoyed what I was working on in that moment.
So you were just in the moment.
Yeah, I think so.
Experimenting.
Yeah, and I never would have said no to the idea. Like, again, like the whole LA thing. I was like, if an opportunity came up, I could hop over to Hollywood. Like, that's not a problem. Just putting that out there, if Hollywood needs me, I'm available. But yeah, so it was always I'm open to the possibilities, but I wasn't, I think, clinging to like a desperate dream of something super specific like some people do.
Yeah.
I probably wasn't that intentional, but I just loved creating and I loved animation, and I just really enjoy meeting all the people on that journey and finding my people, finding those people who create those threads, which become your path.
Best memories of that time then? Or a single day that just stands out as like...
Goodness. It is the people, great friends that, are still in my life now, and connections. I think that is actually a really special point about college and university, because as much as, there's many conversations about whether it's the right choice for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think this is totally my opinion in this moment. I don't think it's that necessary to go to university all the time. There are a lot of opportunities, especially in my industry, where you can be mentored. You can do internships. There's so many ways in. But university and college, yeah, it's a great time to experiment. It's a wonderful foot in the door, especially because there is so much to learn. But it's the connections you make. And that is an irreplaceable aspect. And something that has driven my entire career is in those connections.
Those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always. It's all about the people. Got to find your people.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So I suppose what happened next? Did something an opportunity thrown in your path? Did you make an intentional decision about what was next? I'm really interested in how you got to this point. We can learn a lot from that.
So I went to School of Art in Dumfries.
Yeah.
Then I went to university in Carlisle, and I studied digital
That was
animation.
the University of the Arts?
Cumbria Institute of the Arts. Yes, CIA represent. And again, that moment, I was all about just wanting to really get into animation, and it was all digital. So I'd been very traditional, like art, drawing, paint, all of that, especially at college. I went to university, and it was like everyone wanted to work on Toy Story, right? So it was all CG, very techie. And I think I let it overwhelm me. And I got and I've always been good with computers and stuff. My dad has always worked in electrical engineering, very computer-based, building software programs, all of that. So I wasn't afraid of that. But I just, I think I let it kind of get on top of me. And I think that was actually the issue with the industry at that point. Everyone wanted to work on a Pixar movie. So every university in the world said, well, we'll teach you how to do that.
Those skills.
And we'll teach you those skills. But what they actually were teaching was how to use 3D software, not necessarily how to animate. And animation, I mean, what I learned down the line was that those software packages are just a fancy pencil. The skills that you learn to animate and breathe life into a character that people can fall in love with or love to hate or whatever it is, that is a skill that you do not need a computer for. It's just that there are many ways of doing
Different
it.
Tools.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But at that point, it was just like learn the tools, not the craft.
And when you say it got on top of me, I'm going to try and ask you to explain what that means. So how did that come out? How did that manifest? What do you mean by that?
So because I was just so concerned and worried about the digital implications of it. So it can be quite challenging technically. And certainly at that point, coming from a like more of an arty background, and you're looking at the physics of how lighting interacts with objects and the refractions and the translucency, and you're creating materials that are based on real, like, it was just a lot of science. It's a lot of science in there, and animation is a lot of maths as well, and physics is huge, and you have to it's an interesting conversation because I've to be an animator, you kind of need to have both they say like the right and the left side of your brain. You've got like you're either creative or you're scientific or mathematical or whatever, but with animation you have to be both. You really do. And I actually always was. And again, like this thread. So the best results I got at school were in science and art, weirdly. And again, my dad, you know, from his background, and he's a physicist as well. So that kind of made sense. But then I was always just drawn into the art, the creativity, the storytelling. But I did have this quite strong scientific background that I'd grown up with as well. So I did fit into it. But I think, it just, like I say, I think I let the software and the tech and the science overwhelm me, and I'm probably more naturally a creative person.
Yeah, it probably felt quite different to what you were doing in Dumfries to then suddenly be doing
zone.
Maths, physics and
so out of my
computers.
comfort zone to do that. But I really just tried to channel the animation side. I was like, it doesn't matter about all of that. Eventually I kind of got into that headspace, and I just really loved animating. I just wanted to make characters, bring them to life, have little stories, create little kind of comic strip animated clips and things like that. And I just really loved that. But when I graduated, my options were limited because I couldn't get a job around Cumbria. Yeah. And I, you know, I'd kind of found myself quite settled here. And I really had fallen in love with Cumbria and Carlisle. And I was like, this is home. I want to be here, but I can't do what I love. And I ended up working for a few years in advertising, and I worked at Cumbria newspapers, which was, again, integral to my journey because it taught me how to work with multiple clients. It got me introduced to multiple businesses, lots. I mean, everybody at that time was advertising in the paper.
Yeah.
And I think they kind of brought me in as this, she does digital things. We all need to be digital now. Let's like, you know, get her to make us all digital. So at the age of 22, kind of getting my first job trying to make digital newspapery things.
In the newspaper industry.
Yes. But I learned so much from that experience. And again, just met so many great people.
What did you learn?
Definitely how to look after clients, how to work to deadlines, how to nail a brief, also how to work with a team, big creative teams churning out all that stuff at the paper. I also got some opportunities there to start doing training. So I would train people in the software packages because, again, I was digital. So I would always end up doing the training, which I also loved. And I found, I'm actually pretty good at that, and very happy to do it, like very happy to be in front of a room, getting people inspired or teaching them new things and skills and stuff. So
I've been in the room with you as the Reflective Rebels brand was emerging. So it was I can say for sure it was a fantastic experience and very inspiring.
Thank you, Ben. Much appreciated. That was good fun. Yeah. We always have good fun when we're in those spaces, for sure.
Just a quick pause. At Reflective Rebels, I'm on a mission to spread joy. I create these podcast conversations because I think we're all hungry for something real. Not advice, not quick fixes, just honest human stories that remind us we're not alone in the mess. If this conversation is making you feel something, would you help me grow the rebellion and share it with just one person who might need to hear it? Maybe someone who's also tired of pretending everything's fine. Because every person who finds these stories makes this little rebellion against perfectionism and exhaustion a little bit stronger. Back to our conversation. So, you're at the newspaper. Looking back, you've made sense of that. Were you happy at the time?
Yeah, I was. But I had this little itch, that little itch of, I really just want to do character animation. And it was funny because in that moment, through, again, meeting all these people and doing all these things, I was getting approached a lot by companies who wanted to do more digital animated style stuff, which wasn't something the newspaper offered. It wasn't a service, but, you know, having just got to know people and told them what I'd done at university and all the rest of it had just naturally kind of come out, and they started commissioning me. Like, so I would work part-time at home on an evening, on a weekend, whatever, making little animations for people. And and Twitter had just become a thing. That was like...
We're getting a history of you and a history of
the world.
Development of the internet.
So like literally, yeah, that feels like my entire life. I'm just like on the timeline of how the internet has grown, basically. So yeah, Twitter had just become a thing. And I was trying to figure out what that was, because it was different to Facebook and all those things that we'd been on for a little bit at that point. And I just went, right, I love animation. I'm just going to connect to every animator I can find, everyone who worked in movies and all the movies I loved and all of the programs that I worshipped. I'm just going to follow as many animators as I can find whilst making these little animations for clients and for myself and putting them online. And as I got to know all these people and we're having lots of dialogue, someone said to me, you know, your work is great, but it could be even better if you went and did one of these special mentorships. And I always wanted to just get better. I always wanted to be a better artist. I knew I wasn't as good as I wanted to be. Like, I absolutely knew that. And in fact, this is actually was a moment. On that journey, I was always applying for animation jobs, and I just couldn't, and I knew I would have to move, which was a little bit of a drawback, but I could never even really get interviews for animation studios at that point. And I remember applying to a recruitment company so many times for these roles, and eventually a recruiter came back to me and he said something so profound. I cried, but he said to me, "You're not good enough. Stop applying until you're better." And I was absolutely heartbroken in that, because, you know, you're like, I'm getting there, I'm going places, I'm becoming a better artist, I'm getting more confident, I'm doing all these wonderful things, but I'm not where I want to be as an animator. And that was the dream. That was what was in my heart, you know. And it made me work my ass off. And I was like, all right, come on then. I'll show that guy, right? Very stubborn. So I went off. I'm
going to ask, what's in your character? Because you could respond to one of two ways in that scenario, couldn't you? You could have crumbled and given up.
I did for about 20 minutes.
That's pretty short. What is it about you and your character that made you go, no, do you know what? I'm doubling down here. I'm not taking that.
Maybe slightly naive, kind of confidence and certainty that I could do anything if I put my mind. Yes, that beautiful thing, self-belief. I was like, I can do it. I'll prove to him I can do it.
I love that.
And so yeah, and that was a big moment for me, because it really made me see how much I wanted it. I was like, okay, I couldn't just give up on it. And being told you're not good enough, you need to be better. Come back when you're better. And I went, all right, fine, watch me, bring it. So I did. And I was putting all these things on Twitter, and someone said to me, you need to enroll on this mentorship, which he had done. And he was working in movies and things. And it was a course based in California, which was, you're mentored by animators from Disney and Pixar and DreamWorks and the biggest, shiniest studios in the world, the dream places, right? Yeah. The ultimate dream places. Which just, for me, as the ultimate fangirl and the ultimate, like, you know, animation nerd, was just out of this world possibility. And I applied and I got accepted and I started that journey. And at that point, I had been freelancing for a while, and I was doing all right. And I thought, I'm going to have to quit the job, the 9 to 5. And I was so excited, because I thought, I'm following my dreams. I'm going to have an 18-month, like, hardcore. It was the most extreme learning experience of my life, but it was worth every second. One of the best things I ever did in my career. And I was so scared. So, you know, it's that mixture of trying to be brave and push yourself well out of your comfort zone, but do something that's completely following my heart and every, like, intention of what I actually really wanted. But so I was so excited about it, and I had some freelance clients, so I knew it'd be fine. But the last day that I had, like, at my job, and I loved my job, I had so many lovely friends there. But the last day, I remember feeling so sick. I was like, oh, "What am I doing? I don't have a salary anymore. What have I done?" And I was still early into my career. I think I was like 25, 26.
How did you choose to make the leap? Because I think in terms of places in their lives, I find people in the one-to-one work that I do, helping them to find the self-belief to make that leap is one of the biggest challenges out there. How did you find the self-belief to go, no, I'm handing in my notice. I'm going to do this?
I think I'd had enough opportunities from businesses to know that like I had a little bit of a back in there. So you know what it's like. Sometimes you might be all right for like the next 6 weeks, but just like that'll be fine. I'll be all right. I'll figure it out. But I think, to be honest, just to know that I had I had fallback plans, but I also believe in that whole idea of like plan B distracts from plan A, right? And I do totally believe that. But I think making that first leap, it's just like, do you know what? If it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter. I can get a job anywhere. Right. It'll be okay. It'll be all right. But I will always regret it if I don't try. And I'd rather it fail and that I tried than that I didn't try at all. Yeah. And it was the best thing I ever did.
Yeah. Go on, tell us about that crazy experience then, where you've opened this world you've always dreamed of.
Yeah.
And you're in it.
I was in it, and the hours were insane. And I had, and I'm freelancing as well, so I was doing 100, 120-hour weeks. I was working silly o'clock. My mentors, a lot of them would be. So I was in Carlisle, and I was doing it online, and they had my graduation was over in California, and I had. See, I keep getting dragged back over there, right? Yeah, it's hardly was kicking and screaming, but it was like I keep ending up back there. I went there with university as well. There was like a trip, and again, just kept ending up back in these kind of spaces. But yeah, it was what the most wonderful thing about it was. It was like working on the job. So you were training on the job. You were being taught by a mentor who was working at Pixar. Yes, and they're working on their shots, and they're telling you about what's going on in their lives, and the directors that they're working under who are like my utter idols, and they're working on this and this is happening, but they're also looking at our work and giving us live feedback and showing us how to be better. But the way that they had just created this course, which was about animation, it wasn't about software. It didn't matter really if you were doing it in a 3D software package or just with pen and paper. That didn't matter. You were learning the skills and the craft of breathing life into characters and creating, totally believable, emotive character animation. And I have never been prouder than to have my certificate, which says I have a diploma from the state of California in the art of character animation. Like that is probably my favorite certificate of any certificate I could probably have.
Next to your 50-meter swimming.
Absolutely. Yes. I'm not that good at swimming. Maybe less. I can animate.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in what you learn. You went from that knockback of that really brutal, you're not good enough. Did you say 18 months?
Yeah.
What was the transformation from what did you learn that transformed you?
So it taught me to look at it through different eyes, and it made so I was already creative, and I could already see good design, and I could see, palettes that, you would feel good about, or that felt like this, or all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and you were doing that in your freelance work, I guess. You were, that bit was there.
But this gave me an eye that was so much keener than I'd ever had before. And they had a brilliant approach, which was, you are not just there to do your work and to learn from your mentor. It was part of our weekly deliverables that we had to look at everyone's work across the course. So you could access anybody on that course, no matter what stage they were at, and you could give them feedback. And it was very much encouraged. And you had to give at least 5 rounds of feedback to other students every week for the entire 18 months. And so not only was I getting feedback from other students who I became really great friends with and created some wonderful connections with, but I was also training my eye to see things that I maybe would have overlooked in my own work. Because you can get lost in your own work in anything, right? Yeah. When you're in it, you need a second pair of eyes. You need fresh eyes. And the beauty of, I think, well, certainly with animation, but with most things, with art and design and all the rest of it, anyone can look at it and say, like, you can say, does that look right? Does that feel good? And it doesn't matter who it is. It could be anybody can give you that feedback. It doesn't have to be, the animation character on the new Disney movie. It can literally just be someone walking down the street. They'll be able to look at it and say if they think it looks good or if it feels right. So it was getting good at giving feedback and receiving feedback, which is massive. As a creative, as an entrepreneur, as anybody.
As a human being.
My goodness.
Giving and receiving feedback.
It's massive. It's absolutely huge. And you can be so protective of your work.
Yeah, we're so bad at it.
Absolutely, because you're like, it's my baby.
Yeah,
and
hurts our feelings.
Don't be mean to my baby.
Yeah.
Like, that's not nice.
Brings out our shame demons.
Doesn't it just? Yes, plenty of them. So it exercised those shame demons. It allowed me to completely let go of things that I would have been so much more precious about earlier. And I'm still precious, but a lot more open to the feedback. And you learn how to get really good at giving feedback too.
Yeah.
And it's so important, whether you're a business owner or you're directing a show or a commercial or whatever it is you're doing, being able to communicate properly, efficiently, while still motivating or inspiring the person. Like, I don't want to rip them apart by telling them it's not good enough. Like, I want to instill this belief that they can do it and they can push themselves and they can improve and it will be better, but they need to learn how to see the thing. So that entire process, game-changing.
Sounds grueling. Sounds like...
brutal.
Yeah, really brutal.
I've never
like
been
a proper,
so exhausted.
like a movie montage of the awful physical training required to
It's
do
the Rocky montage.
Yeah, it's that.
Was
I
me
can just see
animating.
that. I can just this feedback.
Yes. I'm going to have to make that now. You know this, right? I'm going to have to do the animated version of the Rocky montage. Yes. Oh, I'm looking forward to that already. Yeah, literally brutal. And I cared so much. And I remember, like, if I didn't do as well as I'd hoped, I'd be crying my eyes out, but then I'd pick myself back up and I'd keep on going. And I think that's always the message, isn't it? It's like, it's meant to be hard, right? It's meant to be difficult sometimes.
I do I think there is something in that, but I am interested in how you were able to navigate that, how you were able to survive and thrive the ups and downs and brutality of that experience.
Complete naive self-belief that I would get there, and I just keep going. Eventually I'll get there, but along the way met so many magical, brilliant people who I still work with now and have the pleasure of calling friends, and those people changed my life. Like the connections you make, that's what changed my life. And part of that, actually, so the day I landed back in the UK from my summer after graduating and visiting all the studios and meeting all my mentors and doing all the things with everyone that I'd trained with, which was just brilliant experience, I got hired to work on a CBeebies show in Manchester, and I literally moved there the next week. So it was that
cool.
It was that instant.
Can we name the show?
It's called Cloudbabies.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you know Cloudbabies?
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love it. Hey, it's on YouTube now. It's flying.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's...
I don't think whether that would have been Charlie or George watching Cloudbabies.
Do you know what's really funny is that... So I've been at Manchester Animation Festival all this week, and there are so many people who I've got such wonderful relationships with because of that show. I've got this brilliant... love for Manchester as a city while I worked on that show. Yeah. So being back in Manchester for the festival, which we were nominated for the Animation Festival a couple of years back, and it's like, it's an Oscar qualifier. It's like a big deal to be nominated at that place. And the fact that where my kind of actual animation career had begun there, and that I was back there nominated for this wonderful Cumbrian-based animation that we'd done. And again, full circle, all the full circle moments, the energy, it just keeps going round. And again, I keep meeting people, even this week. You know, that show was 2012 I worked on that. You know, it was a while ago, and I'm still meeting people who go, oh, I worked on Cloudbabies. Or I bumped into my old animation director at the pub one night, and, you know, it's just a beautiful thing. It's this wonderful group of people who are just all as insanely passionate about animation as me, and I just can't get enough of it.
That's so cool. And we're going to talk about some of those celebration moments in a minute. I've got two different questions in my mind. Go. So one of them is, and I'm just doing some quick maths, at the same time you're having your daughter?
Yes. Very good.
Because 2012 was when Charlie was born, which is probably my relationship with cloud babies.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, makes total sense. Yes, so I had my daughter.
So you're doing all that and having a baby?
Yes. And I was pregnant working at the studio. So full on, it's just... When I look back, I actually go, wow, Lou.
The things we could do when we were young, eh?
I know, right? So much energy.
I think you've got quite a lot of energy now.
Well, I try. But I really wanted Willow to be raised in Cumbria. I wanted to bring her home and raise her around family and my friends and everything like that. So when my contract ended on that show, I was due about 3 or 4 months after the contract was going to wrap. So my original plan was potentially to go anywhere. I was talking to companies in Canada and Singapore. Funnily enough, people that were on those shows I was speaking to this week. Again, it's this weird small world thing that I just love. But no, it was very clear. It was like, I'm coming back to Carlisle. I'm going to raise my daughter here. But I am very clearly selfish and stubborn, as I said, because it's I want to do what I love and be in the place that I love. And why not?
Me too.
Right? Yes.
What is it that draws us back to this place? Because I moved away for work as well, a bit like you, and I thought the opportunities are going to have to be somewhere else.
You miss it, don't you?
We were there longer than you. We went to Manchester.
Mm-hmm.
We were there till 4 years ago. But yeah, I wanted to come back. Yeah. What is it?
It's just a magical essence in this part of the world. It's something in the air, right? No, it's just... I think I'd had such wonderful experiences here. I'd made so many amazing friends here. And I had this total belief that I could do it. And I'd been on this course that was online and very international, insanely international. And I thought, well, if I can learn from people in California for 1.5 years and up my game that much, then surely I can run a company from Carlisle and make this happen and make this a thing. And so I did.
Cool.
It is pretty cool. Yeah.
Right, I want to talk about this self-belief a bit more for the benefit of the listener as well, because I'm going to make an assumption here, and you can tell me I'm wrong, but some people think that self-belief is the absence of self-doubt, and I'm not sure it is. So I'm interested, there must have been moments where you did doubt yourself, but what you've been able to do is get back to that belief. So is that, am I right with my assumption? Have you doubted yourself?
Oh, every day.
Yeah.
Probably this morning.
Because you haven't got this magic thing that you're just not doing that bit that lots of us do.
Oh, no. It's a daily fight with the doubt.
That's
and the
really
fear.
usul, I think, for people to understand.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everything.
So how does the doubt creep in?
Oh, it's everything I ever want to do. And there's always the self-doubt of, oh, no one will like that. No one wants to hear that. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Every single day. But it's just getting better at overcoming it and doing it faster than the last time. It doesn't take up too much of my day. It's a little bit less every day. But saying that, it depends what it is, because sometimes you have a very big, scary thing you want to do, and the self-doubt creeps in all the time. And it's a constant fight. So it's just getting really good at fighting it.
Can you remember a time when that got really big, when the doubt got big?
So in the last few years, especially of my career, a big part of what I do is create my own shows. So I create...
So that's quite a switch. It's not someone else's now, it's your thing.
Yes, absolutely. And we are a service company. We do animation production. We work on all kinds of things, from series work and commercials and short films and on everything and anything. But there's always that deep niggling desire, the itch of, I want to make my own stuff and I want to tell my own stories. And I've got all these ideas for wonderful characters and that, growing up with all those wonderful cartoons, and I want one to be mine, and that is just never going to go away. That is just, it's just part of, I believe it's like, I almost feel like it's part of my purpose. I'm like, I am here to tell stories. I am here to create stuff to put into the world. And it is the scariest thing to do. And my goodness, the amount of people you have to fight off it's bad enough. I've already got my own brain telling me I'm not good enough to do it and that the idea is rubbish and no one's ever going to buy that. But then you've got, you know, everyone will, well, really, do you actually think that could happen? You know, I'd maybe just let that go of that. You can always just go back to the 9 to 5 or, you know, I wouldn't worry about that. You know, times are tough. Oh, just, you know, it's that constant
Why do people,
fight.
and that's sometimes people we love, isn't it? Trying to keep us safe.
Always the ones you love. The ones who love you the most.
Yeah.
It is. It's a safety thing.
Yeah.
And I also,
trying to protect us. But
and I think that's where the self-doubt comes from, because it's just your brain trying to protect you because it knows it's scary and it doesn't want you to feel like you failed. It doesn't want you to get another rejection letter, another recruiter saying you're not good enough. Like, go away and get better or just quit now. You know, the amount of rejection you have to go through to actually achieve something that's really important to you. I think you have to get good at building a thick skin. I was saying this actually not that long ago. I feel like I'm getting better at taking the no's, you know? So I'm just like, I got another no today and I totally shook it off within 10 minutes. I think that's a record.
I can't remember where I heard it, but I was listening to someone talk the other day and she used to come home from school and her dad would want to know the thing she failed at most amazingly that day.
Brilliant.
And it just instilled in her this sense that failure was something that was like
really
celebrated. What an opposite way to parents.
Brilliant.
And imagine
idea.
what would it be like
They
if
say fail fast, right?
fail fast, fail cheap.
Yes, absolutely. Don't mess time. don't waste time. Try it. Doesn't work. Try something else. And that's actually the beauty of social media, you know, and getting stuff out there. And it's like people spend so much.
It's not like you're making a movie.
Yeah, and people spend so much time and energy in just the idea of, oh, I'm going to look stupid. Like, I don't want to put myself out there and have people laugh at me. Or someone might say something negative about that. You know, you get the bloody keyboard warriors, eh? They're everywhere. And yes, absolutely. And those guys, it could be a little bit easier without the keyboard warriors.
Without them.
Like, I don't know what's wrong with some people, but or maybe it's this thing. Maybe it's this universal thing where it's just like, no, we need it to be as tough and challenging as possible to make you the most resilient, best
version of yourself,
version of you. Yeah. You have to deal with.
Could be a little bit easier sometimes, though, couldn't it?
Yeah, just be kind, people. But yeah, so so that's it. It's like putting yourself out there quickly and learning how to get over.
So, what are those tools then? Is it self-talk? Is it some habits that you have? Is it some things that you do? Is it some self-care? Like, what are the tools you've got to bounce back from doubt to belief?
So I do many things. One thing I will say, I wake up every day in a negative headspace. Wow. I cannot wake up and be like,
I'm glad it's the afternoon then, because I can't believe that.
Literally every day, pretty much religiously, I will wake up and my brain is not my friend. My brain is telling me I can't do it and I should quit and that I'm not good enough and that it'll never happen. And I have to fight tooth and nail through that every single day. And some days it's harder than others. I've got a few different techniques. I am fully committed to personal growth and meditation and channeling good, positive energy, whether that be through music is great. Yeah. Music's good. Meditation always works, but sometimes you're in that mad kind of, I woke up late and I've got to get, kids to school and then I've got a meeting at 9 a.m. and you just don't actually have the time to connect and clear your mind and find that peace. So in those moments, it's like I say, music, journaling's a big one for me, and just getting back to me, because I know I'm still in there somewhere, kind of just going, you can do it, Lou. Just don't give up. It's just like quieting all those voices,
quieting the rest of them
in the head every single day. And so, the keyboard warriors and all the rest of it don't help when you wake up in the morning and you're already down here. I've already got to drag myself out of the gutter, but I've got the keyboard warriors to fight off as well. And it's just, you just got to keep doing it. But I always get to a point where it clicks in. And I've made that a thing that I really wanted to study. I'm like, where is that magic? Where do I find that place where I can tap in to that creative zone? Where is it? How do I find it? How do I wade through all this crap to find that magic place where I can create and I can be brave and I can motivate my team as well? Because, I've got people working for me every day and I need to make sure that they're feeling good, feeling inspired. I want my clients to feel like that when they're working with us. I want everything we do. And I am a people person. So again, when I'm back in the room, this is why it's harder working from home as well, being on your own and being isolated in some ways is wonderful, but a lot of the time can also add
that.
Yeah. So being able to just connect with a person, have even just a quick chat. I like to send voice notes. I'm one of those annoying voice note people. And I love to send a voice note to the team in the morning. I'm like, all right, guys, this is today. And it helps me pull it out of myself, as well as hopefully not completely like annoy them. But yeah, get them all ramped up and ready to go. But 9 times out of 10, like most of the feedback I get on that kind of stuff is always really positive. People like a positive, motivational Lou voice note to kickstart a project for the day. Going. Yeah, absolutely. I pride myself on them.
I like the sound of that. So you're doing all the things that are not only proven from personal experience, but also from lots of scientific evidence, but still lots of people are really skeptical of. So I encourage more people to meditate, to journal.
Oh, it's changed my life. And okay, so I'll going deep for a minute.
Okay.
So in the last, it was about 5 years ago, I actually was diagnosed with a couple of really challenging autoimmune disorders. I mean, it totally changed my life. Like, it's that big scary thing of this is like incurable. This is you. And I've never been in pain like it. I hopped around every department of hospitals. I have tried every single treatment. I've been on all of the medications and the horrible drugs and things to, all of the standard stuff. And I can say today that I am healed. And this last year, it's like it never happened, which is quite profound if you knew what I'd been through. But what got me there, and this is a big part of my journey and learning, and something that I would love to share with everybody, is that the whole belief thing is so much more important than you could ever imagine. And when a doctor, when a consultant, when someone, with the qualifications and all the experience in the world tells you you are never going to heal from this, you take that pretty seriously, right? And again,
some of us do. Yeah. Doesn't sound like you did.
Well, again, that constant little niggle of, I'm sure there must be something that can help. I'm sure there'll be something I can learn. And I just, oh my goodness, I just dug so deep, and I went everywhere and I looked for every cure, and always been slightly on the spiritual side.
Yeah.
Believe in magic. Again, I find this thread of the way life works, and if you're intentional and you go after things, they will appear. And it might not be in the way that you expected, but it will happen. And I've found it, and I've studied it, and I've got a journal. I note it down. I'm like, my goodness, like I had this dream, want, desire when I was, 18, and then boom, it actually happened when I was 26 in a totally different way. And I didn't ever would have connected those dots, but it actually did happen. And I monitor that, and I just see, like, you set yourself off on this path, and it's really interesting to find out when it will align and when it will make sense. And the more intentional that I've been with that, and the more open to just following those little sparks and the signs and the synchronicities and going down those roads, the faster I found it to happen. Manifesting, right?
Yeah.
Which I get a lot of eye rolls for.
I didn't roll my eyes.
You didn't. But I'm very used to the woo-woo chat eye roll. But yeah, I have absolute experience in these magical things.
In magic.
Right? Absolutely. And
have you read The Artist's Way?
Do you know, I haven't, but funnily enough, someone told me this week that I need to read The Artist's Way.
She talks about, and believe what you want, but she talks about creativity as actually all we're doing is opening up this channel between this greater energy, insert whatever word you want, universe, energy, God, whatever.
Yes, all the
through
same.
You,
mm-hmm.
and this energy that flows out. And I've sort of felt that throughout your talk, this idea of this energy that's flowing, and you're a channel for it. I'm
so delighted you said that, because that is 100% what I believe. That is absolutely my entire essence is built around that. And right now, especially in my life, through my healing journey and the path that took me down, and all of the magical things that I've experienced, and now the work that I'm currently implementing to create as my future, are completely embedded in that idea.
So where are you now then? Tell us what's the now.
So, as you know, intellectual property, creating my own shows, trying to put something into the world that I have created and then have brought together the amazing artists and wonderful animators and writers and all these beautiful humans that I've met on this wild journey to give something to the world. And right now, in the last 2 years especially, TV is in a really bad place. Okay, so like we fought tooth and nail to get into TV and to work in broadcast.
And then the world changed.
Yes. And then it was just like, actually, now it's YouTube. So like if you don't already have a YouTube channel, like that's where you should be. Like, sorry if you're not there yet. Like you're probably never going to get there now because there's so much content, blah, blah, blah. And it's, so it was challenging before. It was hard before. I mean, it was almost impossible before, but now it's even harder by quite a long way. So the current situation is, and this is what I've been listening to all week as well, and every festival and animation event and kids media event that I attend throughout the year, it's all about creating a following, creating an audience, trying to find traction with an engaged fan base. And it's that thing that I was saying before about Willow and anime and the fandom thing.
Yeah.
It's like, can you create that? How do you create that? Yes. And it is magic. It's pure magic. And it matters. It matters to people. It changes their lives. It makes them look at the world differently. It inspires their futures. The fandom thing is really important. And even if it's something that they don't follow like in their lives or their careers, it'll always hold a special place in them. It's so powerful. And through storytelling or music and characters, whatever it is, like this fandom thing. So with my history, this whole constant belief, the fighting for belief, the idea that the universe has some kind of play in the way our path leads us and the connections that we create that create more connections, and then they all loop back and you go full circle. And, you know, maybe if you're on the right path, those things happen more often. That's what I found. The more I follow my heart and the more I'm intentional about what I want, the more quickly those things will happen and the more regularly they happen. So that I take as a sign that I'm doing the right thing. I'm like alignment, synchronicity.
I wrote down last week that I want to have more speaking opportunities next year. And I've had 3 opportunities present themselves.
My goodness, writing stuff down.
In 7 days.
Writing stuff down is a thing.
It's magic.
It's like you are literally just letting the universe
know we want it.
Yeah, it's just, I am an absolute full-time vision boarder. I have many a vision board.
That energy from it.
But yes, yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you anyway.
No, not at all. So my project that I launched on social media about, it was last year, so not long, and it's a little flying pig called Pigasus. And Pigasus, as a flying pig, represents everything about fighting against the impossible and representing absolute self-belief. I mean, who better to learn about believing in yourself than from a flying pig that represents the impossible? So this character also came about, I say randomly, obviously intentionally, but just in a different way that I wasn't expecting. I was doing some marketing development and came up with this idea of animation can do anything. We can even make pigs fly, as cliche as that sounds, but then thought, actually, like, I really need a flying pig. Like, that would be great. We'll have an animated flying pig. And, you know, Walt has Mickey, right? Mickey, the face of an empire now. I need my own little animated.
The face of my empire.
Absolutely. The face of my empire. Yes, there it is. Okay, I'm totally going to own that. And Pigasus was born. And we got so busy working on productions and shows that although we designed him and done a couple of little things, we never really had the chance to get him out there. So when we wrapped on our last series, we had a little bit of spare time and we were able to kind of say, okay, we're going to do something with Pigasus. God love him. He's sitting in the digital cupboard gathering dust. Like, let's get him out. Let's get him out there. And just as an experiment, genuinely, social media experiment, let's give him his own channels. Let's see if he can fly on his own. And he flew. And people love him. And he has built an incredible following in such a short time, engaged, passionate following. And it's been the most incredible experience as a creator because, again, it's that idea of fail fast, try something. If it doesn't work, do another one the next day. Yeah. And we're not spending a year developing a £10 million series that has to earn all that money back and do this, that, and the next. We're literally just quick, short snippets of these concepts and ideas to see if they connect with people and to see if they can grow a fan base. And it is. And the most fascinating thing that's happened this year, most recently, we launched him on Giphy. Do you use Giphy? No?
No.
You're not a digital sticker kind of guy. Okay, so I know for us...
I follow him on Instagram. I follow Pigasus.
That's beautiful.
No, I don't use his stickers.
So on... for me personally, I am such a Giphy user, so I always like to... go that extra mile in a conversation by sharing the perfect GIF that summarizes my true emotions. It just feels easier, than just a regular text. So we thought, well, obviously we need some good little Pigasus moments in there. And he is all about manifesting. And that whole point is in belief and aligning with your dreams and following your dreams. Like if that's Pigasus's dream, is to make everyone's dreams come true and to get them to believe in themselves enough to follow their own hearts and figure out how to make that dream a reality. That's his
I think that's why I connect with him. We share a purpose.
Yes. Best friends. I see it. And so we launched him on Giphy, and you can use the stickers on like Instagram stories, that kind of thing, which is a great brand building exercise too. Like any company should be putting stuff on Giphy to promote, do brand awareness, have their logos to put on their stories, that kind of thing. And he's been on there for less than 4 months, and he's currently over 16 million views, which means someone has used him 16 million times since August.
That's cool.
So I think we're on.
You're onto something.
Hope we're onto something. So we've been developing that 360 strategy. And again, this is something totally new to me. Like I worked in animation, we're in the production pipelines, and we're working across teams, creating beautiful shots that create sequences that tell these stories and all of that kind of stuff. And now I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do I get characters onto merch? How do I build memberships? How do I create opportunities for Pigasus to find you where you are? Because this is the thing now, audiences are everywhere. You're not prescribed to. You're not unfortunately anymore sat at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning with your cereal ready
going
for
to
your
the video store to pick up the video.
God, it makes me so sad sometimes. And so we need to put our brands, our IP, where our audience is. We have to meet them where they are. And they're everywhere, whether it's on Roblox or Instagram or YouTube or TikTok or whatever it is. And that's the interesting thing with Giphy, because Giphy integrates into so many platforms, and people use it it's a type of language. People are using it in conversation to express themselves and to share joy or to explain how they're feeling. So the fact that he's being used in that way is so exciting and wonderful to think that people are finding that joy through all the time we've spent developing this character, and
a flying pig, but with a serious message.
The most serious,
really empowering,
the most serious message there is,
delivered in
not
very serious way.
Absolutely, the best way ever. A way that brings joy and entertainment, and just gives you a little bit of a sparkle in your step, I hope.
A little bit of magic.
That's what we want to deliver in there.
I love it.
And let's see what else we can do from there.
That's so exciting.
It is very exciting.
Yeah. So to wrap us up, it feels like Pigasus is a bit of a culmination of that self-belief. It's your self-belief shining through a flying pig back into the world.
Nailed it.
What does Pigasus / Lou have to teach us about self-belief, positivity, and achieving your dreams?
I totally believe that it's all about channeling that magic that exists all around us. And, it's a funny one, because you can see people who achieve things that they are really intentional about and really believe that they're capable of, and it could be anybody in any profession, even people you maybe don't agree with, all over the world doing crazy, wild things, but they believe that they are good enough to do it. And it's that brilliant saying that those who believe they can and those who believe they can't are both probably right. So having the belief, if you don't think it's possible that you can heal, if you don't think it's possible you can get that dream job, if you don't think it's possible that you will achieve this vision for your life, then how sad that you might not. So why not believe and go after it? Have a go. And yeah, you're going to have to figure out some stuff and fight through the doubt and fight off the demons and all of that stuff. But I think that's what, it's that idea that if you get good at fighting them off, you get better at it, you get stronger, you get more resilient, and your dreams seem to be more reachable a little bit quicker. So yeah, you got to go for it.
Thank you. I feel absolutely inspired. Yes. Thank you so much for joining me. That has been incredible.
Oh,
really
thank you
incredible.
So much.
Thank you.
I could sit here all day.
I know you've got to go and do school pickup.
I know, I do. Been brilliant. Thank you so much.
I've loved it. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. If Lou's story has inspired you to get on your own journey of self-belief, then you can find Pigasus on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and Giphy, and I'll drop some links in the show notes as well, but I think it'll be easy to find. If you are interested in finding out more about Reflective Rebels and how we can help you find your self-belief, you can go to reflectiverebels.co.uk/newsletter and sign up to get some inspiration in your inbox. I'd love you to subscribe if you want to hear more real stories like this about achieving your dreams and self-doubt and all the magical stuff that happens along the way. I've been Ben, and this is We're Done Pretending, the Reflective Rebels podcast.